Hi guys, I am back and about as average as ever. Um, so today we're doing Kyoshi Warrior makeup, at least my personal take on it. I'm starting off with a eye primer. This is kind of essential in my opinion. And I'll link everything below just as per usual. So as I was saying, this is my personal take on Kyoshi Warrior makeup. This is what I would have liked to see in live action or, on myself. Now I understand my facial structure is different than live action and the represented ethnicities within the show itself from Avatar: The Last Airbender. However, this is what I prefer on me. This is not me saying they did it wrong or anything. I did wear this look and then the whole get up for OhioCon 2024. That was the first image you saw in the beginning. This really lovely photographer came up and she was just asking, can I add this to my portfolio? I said, heck yeah. And she took that very, very, very lovely shot. I'll link her down below too. I can't remember her name. I think it's Alex something. So I'm starting off by kind of just mapping it all out on my face. I am the type of person that needs to get elements or like a taste of the elements, I suppose, pun intended, of the makeup look before I put it all together and make it cohesive. Only because that way I know how saturated certain colors need to be, how full coverage this area needs to be, if I need to add or take away or anything like that. I don't know, maybe it's ADHD brain or ADD brain, whatever, but this is what I do. So I'm starting off with that Crush on You palette, adding red to my eye. And then I'm taking this very lovely black eyeliner. It's a gel liner from very good brand in my opinion. I have their white eyeliner too, and I quite like it. And just mapping out my brows and connecting those eyebrows to the temple. Now my eyebrows are naturally straight. That's where the muscle lies on my face. I don't have a very arched eyebrow, so I just kind of diminish that arch that I had because my eyebrows are tattooed. So I can just go over that with... or most of my eyebrow is my hair, but the arch area is tattooed. And then I can just go over that with, face paint, as you'll see later, to clean it up. So again, this is a very rough, think of it like a sketch, like a rough draft. You're just throwing shit on the palette, putting it all together comes later. So I'm going in with a Q-tip on the, nose part, and then also on my temple just to sharpen up those lines, clean them up a little bit, especially on the bottom because you want the red to match up. See me saying wait. You want the red to match up with the black eyeliner and look clean because that's a huge part of this look. It's just it looking clean. When I was doing this makeup for OhioCon, it honestly took less than an hour to put the hair, the costume, and the makeup all on. So I actually quite like this look for conventions. Lots of people wanted pictures. Lots of people complimented it. I actually sat and talked to a couple people about their versions of Avatar and things that they've done. Now my personal take on cosplay is I don't like to follow the character most of the time to a T. I like to see or explore the idea of what they might look like in real life, where there's more fabrics or techniques to play with other than two-dimensional line work. Obviously, because it's an anime or cartoon, it's hard to make a 3D impression and make it practical enough for animation. So I'm adding more red on, and I'm saying wait, because I know it looks like trash right now. And then I'm adding on my white face paint. This is oil-based, so it acts more like a foundation, which I prefer because I noticed that watercolor face paints tend to crack and then also stain. So I prefer these. I've never had a staining issue. And I'll link the brand below. I don't know how to say it, so I don't want to try. And then I'm blend. You were going to spend a minute blending this because you want this base to be flawless. No impressions. No little circles from your beauty blender. I prefer using a beauty blender with these face paints as well, not a brush. Only because the brush seems to make it more sheer, and I like full coverage when I use these because I don't want my skin peeking through. So blend. Enjoy the face massage while you beat the crap out of your face. Make sure you get right up in there. And then a thing I like to do, because my nose tends to crease and I also can't get the Beauty Blender in that like little crevice there, I just take a brush and I dip it right into the face paint and I just blotch it on. Then I go in with my Beauty Blender and just kind of smudge it out and beat the crap out of your face. And then what I do, if you guys remember 2016 makeup, the way you used to carve out those eyebrows, that's what I'm doing here. I'm just sharpening the edges. That way they line up seamlessly. There's no skin peeking through. None of my skin peeking through. And then, again, just cleaning up the edges. That way it's not bumpy or anything. Now at the convention, I did set my eyebrows with mascara, black mascara. I didn't feel like doing that here because it wasn't necessary for these intensive purposes. And then this is just a flat brush that I dipped right into the face paint because I do want full coverage, like I say. And then cleaning up those edges. Now your mapping might end up being different on your facial structure versus mine. And that's kind of the beauty of this makeup because it's catered to each individual. Like even in the live action, if you noticed, that each girl kind of had like a different placing of their makeup. Now I know theirs goes much higher on their forehead and angles up. Again, I don't have that kind of facial structure where I think that would look good. I don't know, maybe if I ever tried this again, I'll do that. Just for kicks and giggles, but... So here's the magic. Here's what I like. I liked the idea of ombres and adding more gradients into the makeup because traditional Japanese makeup often had a little pizzazz, if you will, element. And so that's what I'm doing here. I am just going in with my red eyeshadow and then my teeny tiny Beauty Blender that you saw earlier with some white face paint and just kind of blending, smudging the two together, and it creates this beautiful pink and softened line that implies an angle without it being so harsh. Now on my soft features, I know that I wanted to do this versus the black line only because I thought the black line would be too harsh per se. Now in the beginning photo, I did have a line that connected from my inner corner to that black line on my nose. And that was a preference at the time. This is what I wish I would have done. But it was too late. I had the con to go to, and, you know, who cares really besides me? So again, you can see me kind of just like working it in. And now that's too white, so I'm going to go in with the red, balance it back out. This is what I mean by starting off with mapping everything out too. I know how pigmented my eyeshadow needs to be to balance out my eyebrows. If I didn't have my eyebrows already on, I probably would have gone lighter because I have a light base. And so it wouldn't, my brain would have said, no, girl, we can't go any darker than, you know, this shade, and we don't want to. But with the black, you need to balance it out, or I wanted to rather. You can do whatever you like. And so I kept on going in and creating that softness and that balance between the two hues. I did take a fluffy brush only because on the times I didn't want to pack on the pigment, I just wanted to kind of soften it out. Oh my God, I can't talk. I would go in with that fluffy, oh my gosh, fluffy brush? No, fluffy brush. And then here I'm taking a teeny tiny Beauty Blender. I think I got these in a value pack on Amazon, honestly. And I've had these for literally years. I don't even know how long. But they haven't done me dirty yet, so I appreciate them. But I went in with them on the side of my nose to create a soft gradient down the side to kind of contour my nose and create more definition in the face. So it's not such a flat surface, because I know I don't like that. And then, again, just balancing out those hues, bringing in color in the inner corner. Now, I'm not putting on too much pigment on the side of my nose itself, past my eyeball, only because I know later it'll be hard to blend that out without making that base area look pink. The actual white will turn pink. So if I go in with a lighter hand on the sides of my nose and a heavier hand at the top where it meets my inner corner of my eyebrows, I know I'm going to get that gradient without creating too much work for myself in the long. So then from here, again, I am just going to be kind of perfecting things, you know, blending these together better, making sure that the red meets the black in my eyebrow seamlessly and cohesively. So from here, I'm gonna try and do an inner corner. Now for me and my anatomy, this is not easy, and I'll show you in a minute why. However, a lot of people don't have the same issue I do. It's only a certain percentage of the population, so I wouldn't worry. And then really important thing is to stab yourself in the eye multiple times, you know, make sure you really get in there. So this is what I'm talking about. I have what's called an epicanthic fold, which is that little fold over my tear duct. So it's not easy for me to do an inner corner because I don't really have an inner corner to work with that has exposed skin. This is actually prominent in Asian communities, and it's usually caused, my understanding is it's caused by a low nose bridge, so you just have kind of extra skin that hangs there. Kind of gross when you think about it, but it is what it is. And then here's me doing a very, very extended eyeliner. And because I have hooded eyes, I go straight out. I don't go up. You totally could. You can do whatever you want. You know, your face is your face. Your makeup is your makeup. This is me and mine. So from here, just blending it out further down. The red. I suppose pink. Now, the reason I didn't do a face paint on the eyelids or like a liquid lip, which is what my original idea was, because then it'd be much more pigmented, is because it didn't freaking dry. I tried it in a couple of tests. Like trial runs, if you will, and it just would not dry and it would crease and it was too thick. So I just went in with eyeshadow, and this is like the best one that came out. I'm going in with that flat brush again that I used to carve out my eyebrows, and I'm just kind of shaping out the triangular shape from the nose to the eye. This made me very proud because I liked how it looked. And then I'm just stamping white directly there, bringing it to a point where the ombre kind of naturally gives out, and then blending it in. And then I'm going to go in with my beauty blender to make that kind of more seamless. Using the corner or the tip, I suppose, of the beauty blender to get really in there. And I did, how do I say, face paint? Put face paint more under my eye. Put face paint under my eyes so it would not have skin. This is me realizing my eyeliner was uneven, so I'm just bringing it out farther. Blend, blend, blend. Now, if I was going to a con again with this, I would make it much more saturated further down on the cheeks, just that way it'll photograph well. But this is kind of just for my own fun. This is how I prefer it. I didn't say it was practical or, you know, for a convention. Filling in my eyebrows more, just kind of making sure everything is super saturated. Now you see that little squiggle at the end? It don't really matter because my wig literally covered it up and my headpiece covered it up. That's why I was saying I would bring the cheeks down a little bit more. Too, is because a lot of it gets covered up on the side of your face. If you're doing the full cosplay, you know. And then one thing I'll say, make sure your brush doesn't have pigment on it from your normal powder when you powder the crap out of your face. Because my chin had a little bit of that like patchy beigeness and I did not like it. Granted, when I go to conventions, I have clean brushes. And I clean them in between each day with hotel soap. But you know what? It works, and that's fine. So I'm going in with baby powder because it's translucent, it's fine, it's not pigmented, it settles in the crease as well, and it stays matte throughout the day. Now after hour 10, of course it's going to have a little bit of oil. Like my T-zone was, she was in the trenches, babe. But otherwise it did not really transfer. And then I'm going in with my red liquid lipstick. Again, I cannot talk today. Didn't have enough caffeine. And I don't like lining my lips. You can do what you like. I also have a very soft Cupid's bow. So I kind of had to create one, and it looks uneven in the beginning. And this might be after I fixed it, but it still was like not symmetrical, which is fine. Who's gonna say anything, dude? You know what I mean? Like, part of makeup, part of my journey with makeup is learning to let go of the imperfections. Because same thing in art, like I'm an art major, I'm a graphic design major. Nobody is gonna know your imperfections until you point them out 90% of the time. So just learn to let go. It's okay. This is a convention, there's so much other things to look at. Like, I know I'm not special. Nobody's gonna be staring at me going, oh my god, her lips, they're not even. Who cares? This is what I preferred to do to bring a little bit of like life back into my face, because I hate an all matte finish personally. So I just put some, my friend had I think Fenty White Diamond. There's plenty of off brands you can get. You can use a white shimmer eyeshadow, you can use a white highlighter. I would not recommend any other color but white in this case, only because when you turn your head, it'll cast a shadow and it'll look more gray tone or champagne or whatever it is. At the convention, I did use fake eyelashes, like huge ones. Again, I just did this for fun, like in my room, you know, on a Saturday night. I am not gonna go all out with a whole fan lash, cut them up, apply them. I'll probably do how I apply eyelash tutorial, because I cannot do just regular strip lashes. I've tried them every single way people have suggested, and I just cannot get it. Anyway, so I am kind of drawing a line that goes from my tear duct to the midpoint of my eye. Again, just to create more definition. You could do this along your entire waterline if you wanted. Nothing is stopping you. My eyes water, I can't do that. They always water in my tear duct, because I have that fold. It goes up into my crease, and then at the end of my eyes. Hence why I had to have waterproof eyeliner, like smudge proof, waterproof, rain proof, everything. And then I'm cleaning up my jaw. This is why I said make sure you get your jaw, because you can clean it up later to make it sharp. And then I had powder like all up in my nose, so I'm just taking a Q-tip so it doesn't accentuate my nose hairs. Okay, and then I am so proud of this headpiece. I made it myself. I used curtain ties. I used some hair stick thingy accessories I had some extra black fabric, some cardboard that I literally put together with staple in a dream, some duct tape. The gold part that I painted is actually a visor that I bought off Shein, and the little horns are hair clips. And then the little middle part is a necklace that I found. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye.